right, so you guys, we are back. This is our second half of the Deniese IncTru podcast, the Solution Field Sunday portion, where we're speaking with future councilman for Ward 4 for Akron, Ohio, Donny Brooks. So where we last stopped off, we were speaking about Men's Mental Health Month portion, where we were just talking about what were some of the challenges that we see young men facing today. And Donny did discuss things like education, things like that, surfacing around that, and then talking about briefly about racism, things of current of nature, repeat of history, and things like that that we both were seeing in within the world and community. So we're going to continue on. Past that particular conversation. And I really like the fact that from what we did discuss with that, it's also, I would say, in summary, to go over tying in life skills to how we were in and off, just speaking of how just interacting with the parents and being more personable and having those moments to discuss things, curating a village and still instilling those things of life skills to have input with the children or with the youth or men in men for Mental Health Month, being able to process their emotions and perform effectively. All right, so now we'll go about positive role models, how those things matter. So many people think that mental illness, it begins when someone like reaches a crisis point. And I personally believe that wellness begins way before all of that. It can start with relationships, mentorship, community, and other things, purpose, and having positive influences around us. So, how important or positive role models in helping young people build confidence and resilience? What do you think, Donnie?
Um, I feel that it builds definitely confidence. It definitely builds a sign of awareness of that person. I feel like everybody needs a positive role model growing up, and not even just growing up, even as an adult. People think that once you hit a certain age, then you should kind of be off to the wolves. I
Yeah,
feel that is not a good way to think because people don't realize that, let's say you're 21.
yeah,
Um, you've been a kid for 18 years, and I'm not saying that it's going to take you another 21 years. I'll make you 42 to get
yeah,
it. But you can't just assume just because you're at 21 that, oh, they're grown. 21 just has it that you're able to go to jail. You're able to
yeah,
drink,
yeah.
get your driver's license, sign your own documents. That don't make you grown. You
Right,
know,
right.
I feel like you have to live a little bit of a grown life to
Yeah,
be considered grown. So really, in a way, 30. 30, I would say from 18 to 30, that's what, 12 years of an adult per se. I
mm,
think once you hit 30, typically your brain is fully developed at 25.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so people have to remember that, and then you kind of take it from there. So you add 5 more years to that, you're 30. So, and
yeah,
typically a lot of 30-year-olds, not all, but typically, you kind of want to start to have your own property. You kind of start thinking about business. Your things are starting to come together.
yeah.
Everyone needs a positive role model from the youth to young adults. It doesn't stop when you're 18, when you're 21.
Right.
Um, I still feel like, for me personally, I don't have any role models as an adult, but I still look at the past role models that I did have, and I
Right.
and I use those life lessons that I learned, watched, and studied in my today and moving forward. And then obviously, I've created my own type of different ways to reach the youth as
Yeah.
well. Yes.
Okay. All right. So, So with that, some from what I'm gathered, so um, the ways it is very was actually very important to have positive role models in helping the young people being able to continue
Yeah.
to build their confidence and their resilience, things like that. So it continues. It doesn't just stop when they turn, like what you were mentioning earlier, when they turn 21. Even with my parents, they say, "Oh, you weren't grown at 21." It's continuing. It's a continuing thing. So you try to continue to have those positive role models because it still helps you go even further in life. So it doesn't just stop at a certain point. It continues onward. It's very, very important to have those positive role models. All
Yes.
right. So now I wanted to go a little bit further, like with mental health, and then also with public safety. So I was able to recently hear a part of your vision regarding public safety, community trust, and de-escalation and mental health response. So as someone who I advocate very heavily for mental health awareness, and that immediately did catch my attention. One for being that I actually had in past, most people want to know my story. I had a mental health crisis to where, you know, most people they didn't know how to respond, like within my family nobody was trained or anything,
Mhm.
so the immediate first response is to call 911, right? But with the officers they didn't, they knew and didn't all the way know what to do, so their response was to immediately put, they'll think to put you in handcuffs and stuff like that. They don't know the proper protocol. So for me, after that experience, I was like, I think it's very helpful to know the correct way to go about those things, how to properly de-escalate, know what to do. Not knowing that sometimes you're dealing with somebody that's dealing with depression, which was my case. Depression, you're dealing with someone with probably schizophrenia, autism, things like that. So being able to have someone in the field that properly knows how to de-escalate or even know the correct number to call, because in those type of matters, when you're dealing with something where it relates to having to have someone of the like the of to manage with the piece of the community and stuff, you have to know the correct avenues and who to call and what to do and have an awareness of that. So I'm thinking like mental health, first aid, being trained in that, and then even knowing to call like things like NAMI, calling the helplines and stuff instead of just immediately calling, for immediate emergency. There are ways to advocate it and maneuver around it. So, being an advocate for mental health first aid and for mental health in general, that's something that really caught my attention when I heard you say being able to have that trust within the community, being able to have de escalation, especially in regards to like mental health response and so forth. So, can you share why those issues are important to you from what I had heard?
Well, they're important to me because, well, I don't want to be biased, but
Mm,
obviously, being an African American in this country, I feel it's very important that we, as the people and law enforcement, we need to come to uh, an even ground. Right now, and for a long time, the trust has been broken. It's been
yeah,
broken. It's been broken. People think it's not possible to put it back together. It's going to take work. It's going to take time. Not just the police. I've been seeing lately on social media that they'll run around with kids with races, like, kind of try to
right,
be in tune. That's not what's going to help. Or doing it once every other month, just show
right.
for 20 seconds to say, hey, we're cool. Mind you, there are good officers in the
There
world.
are,
They,
there
they
are,
are, but there are a lot of, I should say, bad apples.
right.
What I think needs to be better is that I feel like the interviewing process should be a whole lot different.
Right.
I feel like when you're doing the interviews, ask them certain questions, maybe probe them to
Mm.
see if they could possibly be racist. You'll be able to see that during the interview, not just because they pass a fitness exam, just
Right.
because you show a couple videos and they answer the questions like, oh, this elder is getting robbed. What do you do in this situation? I
Right.
mean, that the whole process, interviewing process needs to change.
Yeah, definitely have some form of adjustment to where you can find and see where some of those underlying issues are before it actually hits to the streets and they're helping someone in the community and it doesn't pan out as well as we thought it would. Yeah.
With depression as well,
Mhm.
anxiety.
Yeah.
I feel like those questions could be asked in the interviewing process. What
Right.
would you do if you came up to a resident, or, certain questions? And a lot may be caught off guard with that question.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, I'm not saying they're a bad person, but
Yeah.
let's go on to the next candidate and see what their answer may be. Uh,
Right.
would you be able to find a lot about a person off of their response?
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
So,
I agree.
so that is very important. And when you stated that when you were announcing that you were wanting to run to be a city councilman for 2027, that meant so much to me to hear somebody state that because it there's such a stigma within mental health, and it seems like things get swept under the rug when it comes to race and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Being a black man in America, I have four black male sons. They're black and Puerto Rican, but it's when sending them out into the world and then also having a child that has autism and
Yes.
being a black male, that puts a lot of like I don't believe in having fear, but that puts a lot of pressure and
Yes.
it really like I'd rather them be in my utopia than having to send them out,
Yes.
type
Yeah.
of thing. So I'm thinking like if my son with autism, then he's black, goes out and he isn't responding the right way, that that's a lot for a mother, for a person to worry about. So you want to have the right people out there trained and know what they're doing. I know everyone you want them to be out there and be the peacemakers, but at the same
Yes.
time, I want to make sure that you're fully trained to help everyone, not just the select, but everyone. So
Yes.
I thank you for bringing that up when you announced that, and I hope that you do get to succeed in what you're trying to go
Thank
for.
you so much.
You're very welcome, and I state that from the heart because as a mother, and you being a black, just males in general, just having our children out there and the community in general, you definitely want to take those type of things to heart and really have somebody out there
Yes.
doing something for the community. All right. So let's see here. I also wanted to, go into talking about like prevention versus reaction. So one thing that I do appreciate was your emphasis also on prevention. Rather than simply responding like after a situation has already escalated, how do we, create a stronger community by investing in prevention and things like that?
That's a good question. So I feel like, to start off, the community centers, the recreation centers, I feel like they need to be open longer. That's community. I know when I was coming up, recreation centers were like a safe haven to
Yeah.
go to. They were actually open for longer hours, as well. But in today's world, it's different. I feel that if community centers were open longer, especially during the summertime,
Mhm.
next question will be, how about security or police? You have
Yeah.
a lot of security that work at nightclubs. They would rather
Mm.
work at a community center after hours than be at a nightclub.
Right. Right.
They just go to where the money's going.
Yeah.
So, and it's dangerous, bars, clubs, etc. Um, I feel that right there is a start,
Mhm.
um, with prevention, with the youth from 10 to 17, 10 to 18, that range, boys and girls. Um, and it definitely starts there. Um, that's one of the things that I want to implement. once I uh, get in office. I want to have the community centers open longer, especially during the summertime, because they
Mm.
all know summer is where they get into the most trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Parents are at work. You have a child that's of age to stay home by themselves. They're running the streets, stealing, uh, hurting people, doing things they shouldn't be doing
Yeah.
while their guardian is gone for 8 to 12 hours
Yeah.
daily. And then it's hot, So it's
Yeah.
like if the house doesn't have central air or air conditioning, they're
Mm.
gonna be outside.
Yeah, they want to be outside.
No one's be in a hot home. So
Right, right.
it's a lot of different things, but that's definitely where I feel that can start the problem. It
Mm.
may not get rid of all the violence, but that's a start more than what's going on.
Yeah. So implementing that to have those recreational centers, places that will be able to help the children, the youth, being able to have those things open a little bit longer and having the safety net of even the peace officers and things like that
Yes.
around instead of like all being out there to the clubs and so forth. Those are places to definitely be at. Those things really do matter. Not saying that they shouldn't monitor those too, but there is I think it's a great deed to have those recreational centers out open a little bit longer to keep the children out of trouble. All right, so that was a great point. So next, as I mentioned, like we're in Solution Field Sunday, and I wanted to connect that too. So much of what we do here for the Deniese IncTru is we do center around like empowerment, education, wellness, and then helping people kind of identify some solutions
Yes.
before problems become larger obstacles. So, what are some practical things communities can begin doing right now to better support youth and families? So, I know you just mentioned about having the recreational centers open a little bit longer. Is there anything else that you could suggest?
I feel like I said earlier, boots to the ground. I feel like
Yeah,
going into the neighborhoods in person,
yeah,
um, and figure out a way how to talk to neighbors. I
mm,
would say go for more so when they're outside,
yeah,
not knock on the door because they may not answer. So
yeah,
I feel like if they're outside gardening, if they're outside washing the car, barbecuing, those are ways to engage with the community. Like me, for example,
yeah,
when I was on Memorial Day this year, a couple weeks ago,
mm,
I got my 75 signatures for me to turn in for me to be on the ballot for next year.
yeah,
And I went on Memorial Day because I know people are outside
yeah,
with family cooking out.
yeah.
So I didn't show up to their home in a shirt and tie. I had on sweats,
Yeah,
regular.
like be relatable, be
Yes,
able to engage
and
into
just
the
having my
community.
clipboard
Yeah.
and talking to them for a minute, and I would get like 3, 4 signatures a house,
Okay.
and I
Yeah.
was out in the community for 4 hours straight
Yeah.
and got all my signatures. So I
Yeah.
feel that that was a part-time shift that I did, and I got all my signatures in a few hours or so. So I
Yeah.
just feel like engaging with the community, not
Mm.
coming off like a salesman, not
Right.
coming off uh religious.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times those are people don't want to. You never discuss religion, and people say politics. I discuss what's right,
Yeah. Yeah.
and people get the politics and right. They feel like it's a touchy subject or it doesn't intertwine, but
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
speak to them what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
Not come off as a politician because they're not going to listen to you because you never know
Right.
who you're talking to. They can be Republican, they could be Democrat, they could be independent. You don't
Right.
know who you're speaking with, but with all three of those, independent,
Y-
Republican, and Democrat, everybody understands right is right, wrong is wrong.
Right. And see, I like that you pointed that out too.
Yes.
Yeah, because like there was like such a tussle or tug of war. Like when I first started out my company, like it's been well, this month will be a year for Deniese IncTru, our 1 year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank
You know,
you. And with doing that, like it was I was always so strong in my spirituality and things like that. So it was quite something to try to get those things like business
Mhm.
that, and I had to teach myself that it's a way, it's not what you say, but how you say it and how you do it. So it's
Yeah.
at first, when the start of the year, I was like, I'm just not gonna say anything about politics. I'm not gonna say anything about religion,
Mhm.
type of thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? It's not that I can't talk about it or I can't say it. It's just how I'm saying it. And I also had to learn to meet people where they are. And then, like what you're saying, being able to engage within the community, going out there, being on foot, showing them that you're a real person and not a robot, or not just going, like you're actually one of them, actually care. You're meeting them where they are,
Yes.
and you're trying to put forth the effort to just talk about the right things and do the right things. And that's what matters.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all about too. So I really like that. So with that, like I heard you mention like Memorial Day, so a holiday coming up for us, Juneteenth and
Oh,
freedom. So
yes.
yeah, so as we celebrate Juneteenth this month, many people think about freedom like from a historical perspective.
Yes.
But I often think about freedom through education, and also wellness, access, and empowerment. So, what does Juneteenth mean to you personally?
Oh, Juneteenth means to me, honestly, just because the shackles are off of our body, it's the mental as well.
Yeah,
We have financial slavery,
yeah,
educational slavery. People just look at Juneteenth more so with the shackles and chains physically, but
yeah,
shackles and chains are mentally as well. That is not being talked about.
yeah,
Having stability, financial stability, and stability in general, is what needs to be discussed.
mhm.
Because obviously we know gas prices have shot up crazy to drive.
Yes,
Um,
yes,
and if you and if it and if it's just not you to ride your bike and you have children, five
mm,
dollars a gallon or 4.50 a gallon. I mean,
yeah,
it's ridiculous. So even with that, and then obviously with rent and taxes, or if you have a mortgage, and I mean
yeah.
everything is just shot up, and
Just
then
on top of one another,
and
financial
your pay,
strains.
but
Yeah,
your pay per hour at your job is not shooting up.
right,
So, I mean,
right.
but you may get $1 raise while everything going up dollars.
Yeah,
You have to get two jobs. So, I would say, to get back onto that, I would just say, Juneteenth to me is that, our ancestors, June 19th, 1865, um, obviously that was when they got the message that, hey, they're free, we're free.
yeah,
But within the past 400 or 500 years, we've been battling, when it comes to the Black Panther Party, Dr.
yeah,
King, Malcolm X, um, you know, um, government, civil war, civil rights movement, um, and then obviously drugs,
yeah,
the drug era, 80s and 90s. And
yeah. Epidemics and things. Yeah.
I mean, it's been so
So the
much.
shackles are still,
It's still on. It's still
yeah.
on,
Hmm.
and it's just in a whole different way. We're not on boats anymore, but I mean, it's still here, and
Yeah.
we as a people need to figure out. That's why I would say back in the Black Panther movement, the 60s, we all had a common goal
Yeah.
and we were all united. We haven't had that since the 60s and the 70s where it's been this divide. It's like if it's not happening in my home, they're not worrying about it.
Yeah.
But in
Yeah.
a way is that we're kind of back to that because we all need to teach our children. That's the
Mhm.
common goal. That's the common denominator
Yeah.
to try to build family, build community right there.
Yeah. So being able to build community, build family, all of that. And like what you were mentioning earlier, I would say even like things with the village and stuff like that. That's all Juneteenth. That's all us.
Yes.
Yeah. So I also, I wanted to go into like, that goes and leads into like representation and visibility too, I would say. So I noticed that you've had some opportunities to attend some incredible events, including the BET Awards and some other entertainment spaces.
Yes.
And I kind of wanted to tie it into music, motivation, and culture too. So our platform, it explores music therapy, art therapy, storytelling, and the ways creative expression contributes to healing and wellness. So music has like a way of bringing people together, helping us through difficult times and motivating us towards
Yes.
our goals.
Yes.
So, what role has music played in your life?
Oh gosh. Huge role.
Yeah.
Growing up, my mom, Jackson 5, Michael Jackson. Michael
Okay.
Jackson, hands down, my favorite entertainer. I did see the Michael movie twice. His
I'm
nephew,
jelly. I haven't.
his nephew Jafar was awesome. He did great.
Yeah, I
He
heard
did great.
about that. Yeah.
So I seen it. I had a pre-showing 3 days before it hit theaters, April 25th or whatever. And then when it dropped in theaters, I seen it that day too in April. So I seen it twice in like
Yeah.
48 hours. It was great. But yes, Michael Jackson. I always wanted to go to Neverland, but I couldn't go. My mom didn't let me go to Neverland.
I
But
wanted to go.
you know, we'll tell the stories. But
Right,
Michael Jackson,
right.
MJ, um, I don't care what skin tone he is, brown,
Every
clear,
skin tone, I was there.
I don't care. Light complected. Michael had about 10 tones. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, I'll pick any mic from J5 mic to Off
Yeah.
the Wall, Thriller, Bad, Dangerous, History, Invincible. I'll take them all. This is it. Whatever mic. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, Michael Jackson. What's funny, I went to my kids and I took them to a Michael Jackson talent show today.
Yeah.
And it was about 14 kids. It was a talent show of them singing and dancing to Michael Jackson. So it's just so
Yeah.
awesome how these children never seen Michael alive. All you see is YouTube,
Yeah.
and Michael has fans, generational fans
Mhm.
forever. I mean, the man is the best.
He
Like him or
is.
love him, like him or hate
Yes.
him, you even if you don't listen to his music, you cannot say the man's not the best. I mean, you don't have to like his music, but you can't say he's not the best. You have,
Right.
I mean, the man 8 Grammys in one night.
Yeah.
Shoot, I mean, the guy is unbelievable. And
Yeah.
still part of our culture. I don't care what he look like. He's still African American. That's on his birth certificate. Okay.
Yes. All right. Well, Donnie, I'm so glad that we're able to have all of the conversation of what we've had
Yes.
today, going over, the politics versions of things, what's going
Yes.
out into the community,
Yes.
what you have going on for, wanting, being the future councilman, for Ward 4 on Akron, Ohio. So, like I said earlier, I do, if I were out there, my vote it would be on for you. But for you guys out there in Ohio, I hope that you make the right decision and get out there and realize who cares. And I hope everything pans out well for you on this journey and for whatever you have going on, whether it be the baseball, the youth, and so much more. I see so
Thank
much greatness in you, and I'm honored to have been able to have a conversation with you and to highlight you today. So, before we wrap up, if there's one message you would like to leave with young people, fathers, mentors, educators, like community leaders, anyone listening today, what would it be?
you. Never give up on yourself.
Yeah,
Keep pushing, keep striving, and keep thriving.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. So that is a great message to send out for our final remarks for today. So you guys, as you know, today was Solution Field Sunday, and this was our conversation with Coach Brooks. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. It has, seriously, it has been a truly, truly great pleasure learning more about your journey, your vision, and the incredible work that you're doing through the Akron Baseball Project and throughout your community. So, everyone, please make sure that you follow Coach Donny Brooks, you support the Akron Baseball Project, and then you stay connected with the work that he is doing to empower the youth, strengthen the families, and create opportunities for our future generations. So, this has been another solution filled Sunday at Deniese IncTru. So, remember to take time to reflect on your week, identify the challenges before you, and then also place those solutions beside them as we do weekly. Journal if you need to, rest if you need to, and reach out for support if you need to as well. So, but most importantly, as we always sign off with, continue to be well in wellness and in love. It's your girl, NeCee. Peace.